Welcome to the Middle Serve Mike channel. Getting ready to head into the gym here, but I just want to go over a couple things that I read about last night and kind of contrast them a little bit. First of all, since I talked about Jeremy Kettler in my Second Amendment Preservation Act video last week, the Second Amendment Preservation Act in Missouri, and I was questioning whether that would have teeth if it's passed and enacted into law, I used the Jeremy Kettler case in Kansas as an example of how the Second Amendment Protection Act there didn't have teeth. So, since I talked about that last week, I'll talk about this a little bit more since there's more on that. The GOA is petitioning the Supreme Court to take up this case, the Kettler case, and basically it's going to try to go at the heart of the NFA. Now, I wrote these things down, but the three things that the GOA is going to go after are wanting the Supreme Court to reevaluate the U.S. versus Szynski, which is a 1937 case, basically saying the $200 tax on NFA items that case ruled that it was constitutional, even though it was on otherwise legal activities. So the GOA is wanting them to reconsider that. The second thing in this petition is to I believe it was the 10th Circuit who ruled that suppressors and ammunition weren't bearable arms because the Heller decision in 2010 said that bearable arms are an individual right, not a collective right. So to get around that, different courts have ruled that, suppressors and accessory, they call suppressors an accessory and ammo isn't a bearable arm. And that's how they're, trying, like several states are trying to tax this. And, of course, suppressors have the $200 NFA tax. So part of the petition is to try to get that overturned. And finally, if they can get that agreed upon, they want to go back into different case laws where constitutional acts or constitutionally protected rights cannot be taxed. And if suppressors and ammo are bearable arms, you can't have the $200 NFA tax, and that would be unconstitutional. So basically, the GOA is going after the heart of the NFA. Now, whether the Supreme Court takes this case up, I have my doubts, because even though Gorsuch, Thomas, and Alito are rock solid, the problems are Chief Justice Roberts and Kavanaugh. Chief Justice Roberts, he's been basically getting pulled left as the years go on, and Kavanaugh doesn't really have that good of a record so far in his time on the Supreme Court. As I've said in some of my videos last year, he has a 98% agreement rate with Merrick Garland. So I'm not really sure why the Democrats were fighting him that hard and why Trump even nominated him in the first place. But that's a different story. But this goes back to Clarence Thomas basically angrily writing last year that the Second Amendment is kind of an orphan right, and we need to start protecting it a little better. But even if the GOA doesn't succeed, at least they're fighting things that pro-Second Amendment people want them to fight. And that's what they're putting their money and their energy toward. And, that's the hallmarks of a good group who's fighting for you. Let's contrast this with the NRA, they are suing their ad agency, who they've had an incestuous relationship with since the 80s, Ackerman-McQueen. Now, there are board members, I believe, on both organizations, NRA board members who are in at Ackerman-McQueen and vice versa. And just as a side note, in reading about this, the NRA has 72 board members. People who keep saying that you're going to change them within, you're never going to be able to change them with that many board members. That's, how many of those people are entrenched, and, it's very unlikely that you're going to replace the people who need to be replaced. They already kicked out the Knox faction in '97, who questioning a lot of the things we're questioning now. But let's get back to this Ackerman-McQueen. Basically, these celebrity figurehead presidents that the NRA puts out there Most of them are Ackerman-McQueen clients, like Charlton Heston was. Even though the week he became NRA president, he goes and on talk shows saying that normal civilians shouldn't have AK-47s, and like Oliver North, he's an Ackerman-McQueen client. So, and I mean the NRA's just given them all kinds of money over the years. So, I've read some of them, but I'm not going to really go over the details in the case, but I'm just contrasting where the GOA's energy is versus the NRA's energy. The GOA are fighting bad gun laws. The NRA, between this, suing in New York and, fighting accusations about Russian money, the NRA's energy is into going into recovering money and saving their own ass, while the GOA's out there actually fighting for gun rights. So just let me know what you think below. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.